The Carolina Hurricanes are looking to bounce back after disappointing losses to the Minnesota Wild and Colorado Avalanche tonight up in Winnipeg against the Jets. Let's see how the Hurricanes can do it and what they need to do to take a step in the right direction. All that in this episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you are listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Monday afternoon. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes and myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96. And in this episode, we'll be talking about tonight's game against the Winnipeg Jets. Now, getting into this game, the biggest thing that the Hurricanes have got to do in order to win this game, the next game against Arizona, after this one, and then so on and so forth, they got to show up on special teams because, dear Lord, their special teams are absolute crap right now. And they're lucky to be tied for second place in the Metro right now. And because the power play is 30th out of 32 teams in the NHL. The penalty killing, despite having a historic year last year and being near unstoppable, bottom half of the league. And we talked about it before here on this show that the Hurricane special teams has been their fault for quite a while now, not just this year. It's been a while, and that they need a dedicated special teams coach to help them get things going, and especially power play. Power play is god awful, and it hasn't been good consistently good for years now. And they need a special teams coach. And do I think they hire one, eh, this year or anything like? No, I doubt they will. And unless things just get that bad, I don't think they're gonna hire a special teams coach mid-season or anything like that. And it is what it is. But I think that if the Hurricanes want to win a Stanley Cup, they have got to do something and do it quick. And you look at these last two games against Colorado and Minnesota. Another issue, aside from special teams, is they're not playing the full 60 minutes. You look at the Colorado game, we're lucky, went to overtime there. Yeah, Colorado did not look good, and they got lucky it went to overtime. But, the Hurricanes, yet another slow start to a game against Colorado. They're lucky, they were able to, come back, make it a game, push it into overtime. But, in that game, timely power play goal would have helped. You look at the game against Minnesota. You had a good first 20 minutes, and no slow start there, but Rod Brind'Amour flat out said the second and third period that that 40 minutes was crap. And it is. This team is not going to make a deep run to the playoffs if they don't play the full 16 minutes. This was an issue. This, like the special teams, has been an issue for a while. It's not just something that started happening this year. Playing the full 60 minutes, for whatever reason, they just won't do it. And we've talked about it here several times on the show. When Jordan Stahl said earlier in the season, no passengers, what are we still having? We go through spurts where it's not an issue, and guys up and down the lineup are showing up and doing their part. But that was something that Rod Brind'Amour echoed after the loss to Minnesota, in that you're having this issue. You got 20 guys, and a couple of them are pulling their weight. Like I said, they're lucky to be in the spot they are right now. They're lucky to be tied for second in the Metro. They're 10-5-3, 23 points. The last 2 games, they're lucky to have gotten a point out of it. And I think that the Hurricanes, they need a wake-up call. They do. I've said it before. Keep saying it. I'm glad they're at least having these issues right now in October and November, and let's be honest, it's November 21st. These issues are probably going to continue into December as well. I'm glad they're having these issues now rather than March or April, you know? But good Lord, this isn't sustainable, what they're doing right now. And you're not going to win games not playing the full 60, not showing up on special teams. I said that, yeah, Minnesota, they're a talented team, but at the end of the day, that's the team that the Hurricanes should beat. It would be a little bit of a test. Obviously, Colorado, you knew that was going to be the case. They're the defending Stanley Cup champions. You knew that was going to be a tough game. And I'm not surprised that the Hurricanes lost that game. It's Colorado. That's a game I'm okay with losing. But Minnesota, that's a game the Hurricanes should have won. And that's no slight against Minnesota. They are a talented team. They'll probably be in the playoffs. But the Hurricanes aren't looking like a team that should be in the Stanley Cup hunt. They're looking like another first or second round exit. I think they're talented enough to make the playoffs. If the playoffs were to start right now, I know they'd be in. But they're not. This isn't the looks of a Stanley Cup team. And it's so easy to say, but they got to get it together. And I think that they need to really just be sitting down in their film room and going back. And I mean, I'm sure they are doing this stuff, but going back, watching these crap power play opportunities, the penalty kill, which has now gone downhill too. Go back and watch all this, learn from their mistakes, which again, I know that's going to be stuff they're watching, but power play. They've gone 1 of 19 on the power play dating back to November 9th. It is November 21st. They're lucky to be winning games. That's a testament to their 5-on-5 and how good that can be when it's on. That's a testament to their 5-on-5, because you look at the Colorado game, 5-on-5, they were really good and really controlling the game after they got past that slow start. And they're becoming very frustrating to watch, because it would be one thing if this was a new problem, but this isn't. This was a problem last year. It was a problem the year before. And I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, I could say a special teams coach, but you have so much talent, and yet you still can't get the stuff going. I really hope it gets turned around quickly, and tonight is going to be a perfect opportunity and a very tough opportunity to get things going on special teams, as well as just trying to bounce back with a win before they come back to Raleigh to take on the Coyotes. But we did get to hear from Rod Brind'Amour after morning skate this morning. But we will hear what Rod had to say right after this. This episode is brought to you by SimpliSafe. If you thought about securing your home with home security, but you've been putting it off, you'll want to listen up. Right now, Locked On Hurricanes listeners can order the #1 rated SimpliSafe home security system for 50% off. This is their biggest offer of the year, and you won't want to miss it. Did you know that the holidays are prop property crimes like burglaries and package thefts spike nationally? That's why SimpliSafe is offering that 50% discount so that you and your family can feel safe and secure this holiday season. So, SimpliSafe was named the best home security system of 2022 by the U.S. News and World Report for a third year in a row. And in an emergency, 24/7 professional monitoring agents use Fast Protect technology exclusively from SimpliSafe to capture critical evidence and verify that the threat is real so you can get priority police response. SimpliSafe is a whole home security system with advanced sensors for every room, window, and door, HD security cameras for inside and outside, smarter ways to detect motion that alert you only when the threat is real, and even have hazard sensors that detect fires, floods, and other threats to your home. Their 24/7 professional monitoring service costs less than $1 a day. That's less than half the price of ADT's traditional professionally installed systems. With the top rated SimpliSafe app, stay in complete control of your system anytime, anywhere. Arm or disarm, unlock for guests, access your cameras, or adjust the system settings. So don't miss your chance to save big money on the only security system. So you get 50% off any new Safe system at simplysafe.com/locked on NHL. That's their biggest discount of the year. Make sure your home is safe this holiday season. That's simplysafe.com/locked on NHL. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Now, folks, we did get to hear from Rod Brind'Amour after morning skate this morning up in Winnipeg, and this is what Rod had to say this morning.
Check. Oh, Rod, I'll wade in first. Okay. I understood that in hearing the quotes that it wasn't an entirely pleasing, satisfactory performance in Minnesota the other night. But, you move on to the next day. And so what's the mindset coming into this one tonight?
Well, I mean, we're frustrated because you don't want to lose a game last couple minutes. We had that game pretty well in hand, and, I just didn't have our third period. I want to go out and not hang around. We played a real good, solid 2 periods and gave them nothing, and then we just kind of eased into that third, and that was cost us the game. So, but our effort has been really, really good. We have to do that tonight here. Obviously, we're playing a really good team that's playing well.
I was just going to say ease, and when you've played the Winnipeg Jets the last few years, just don't compute. You guys always seem to come at this club 100 miles an hour.
Well, that's how we play in general. I mean, I think we've had some. I would say, to be quite honest, this is a different team we're playing.
Yeah.
I watch them now than when we played them before, and just to your point, if we played hard against them before, I felt like we would be okay, and now they're matching that. So now, when you have skill and you match, the work ethic part to it, then you got a chance to win every night.
Would patience be another description that you'd use maybe for how they're playing this year?
Well, I think when you trust your game, it's easy to play that way. When okay, just do it right. Eventually, you're going to get your chances. And it doesn't always work out that way, but if you stick with it, they've had some wins here. They pull them out at the end. That certainly helps you preach the message when it does work out. But I think at the end of the day, I think they've just upped the ante on what they're doing, and obviously it's working out.
Stats have been in your favor. I know the last 2 games, at least through the first 2 periods of last game, then Colorado, you were happy with that game. Is there any specific area you would just like to see some improvement?
Well, you always get better in every area. I thought, like I said, at the end of the night, it was a great, really half the game. I mean, I think we gave up 7 shots. I mean, you're doing something right, and when you have the lead and you're doing it that way, it's just, I felt like we kind of came off it a little bit, and at the end of the day, it was 1 scoring chance in the third that cost us, and but you got to try to eliminate all of them. So I'd like us to just, Can we play better that way? Yeah, obviously we'd love to see our special teams get clicking. I mean, we're not connecting on the power play. I mean, that obviously puts a lot of stress on your overall game. But I think that'll come.
So obviously, Rod Brind'Amour, kind of backtracked a little bit, in terms of the game against Minnesota, but I still say, you had the one good period. You had the first period. They limited 7 shots, and I think now against Winnipeg tonight, like Rod said, they played them hard in the past, and they pretty much able to come out in the win. But this year Winnipeg's a bit different. And you look at speaking of special teams and wanting the Hurricanes to improve on special teams, they're going to have their work cut out for them tonight against Winnipeg. Winnipeg, their power play is ranked 19th in the NHL, so not the best, but kind of middle of the pack. Better than the Hurricanes, especially with the Hurricanes penalty kill starting to slip as well. They're going to have to step it up there. And then, like I said, the Hurricanes power play, as of recording right now, is ranked 30th out of 32 teams in the NHL. The Winnipeg penalty killing unit is ranked 3rd in the NHL. So the Hurricanes power play is going to be in for an already bigger test. Every game is a test for them at this point to just get something going. And now you're going against the top 3 penalty killing unit team. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a tough game for the Hurricanes because they just aren't, having the momentum on their side. And, with this game, I really don't care about a win or a loss. Obviously, I want to win, first and foremost. But, man, I really just want to see them play the full 60 minutes. Show up on special teams. That's all I want out of this game. I want to win, but just start making some steps in the right direction. 5-on-5, I'm not necessarily worried about. That's, for the most part, pretty good. But, God, they have got to show up on special teams tonight. And that's going to be the biggest thing for this game is the special teams. But, we'll get more about that, into the keys for the game, which actually, there's really not a whole lot of keys to the games for tonight. We pretty much hit it all, but we'll talk about it anyway here in just a moment because first, I do want to tell you about BetOnline. BetOnline is, of course, your number one source for all of your sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from football to basketball to soccer, esports, wrestling. They've got it all at betonline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. You got WWE Survivor Series War Games right around the corner. I'm super looking forward to that pay-per-view. And you can go to BetOnline to check who the experts are favoring right now. And of course, BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix. So head over to the website or use your mobile device today to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. Now, getting into the keys to the game. We're going to make this quick because there's not a lot. Usually I try to have like 3 or 4. I don't. I got 2. And we've already talked about it. Special teams. Show up. And, that's the biggest thing. And that's going to be the biggest thing for the next few games. So expect to hear that over and over. Is special teams show up. Power play and penalty kill. You're not going to win a Stanley Cup without that. Heck, you also got to win playoff games on the road, but that's a discussion for a different day. We'd be here for another hour, talking about the Hurricanes winning on the road or not winning on the road in the playoffs. And then the other one is no passengers. You know, that's been an issue for a while. Actually, it's going to be 3 keys to the game, but no passengers for sure. And, just again, show up. Who is going to, I don't want to worry about, all right, who's actually going to show up tonight? I don't want to have to worry about that. I don't want to worry, all right, is our third line going to have to carry the entire load because the first and second line, won't show up and, aren't getting anything going. I get everyone's going to have off nights. Whether we're talking hockey, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever, there's going to be off nights. I get that. You get that. We all understand that, but it's become more often than not that just a handful of guys are the ones that are showing up, and we can't have that. You need they need to play a full team game, and speaking of playing a game, they need to play the full 60 minutes, and that is honestly maybe one of the most frustrating things is that they won't play the full 60 minutes. You got the slow start in Colorado against Colorado, and you finally wake up. It goes to overtime, you still lose. Or Minnesota, good first period and sort of a good second part of a second period, but after that goes to crap. And because they just kick back, we got this game in the bag, folks. No, this is the NHL. Whether you're the top team in the league or the bottom team in the league, anything can happen. These guys are talented enough to be playing in the NHL. They can win a game. Whether they are the best team in the NHL or the worst team in the NHL, anything can happen. And the Hurricanes need to play the full 60 minutes. I'll just be happy if we see that stuff. Again, I don't care about a win. I mean, I care about a win, but win or lose, I just want to see them improve in these areas, and not just for one game. I know already this season, I've gotten excited. Like, oh, the power play was really good tonight. And yeah, even if that is the case tonight, I'll be excited when we're talking about that tomorrow. But I'm getting tired of getting my hopes up when they play the full 60 minutes. They play, everyone's showing up. The power play looks good. The penalty kill looks good. Game or two later, back to crap. And again, they're lucky to be in the spot they are, and that's just a testament to their 5-on-5. But in terms of lineup tonight, nothing has came out as far as an official projected lineup. But heading into this game tonight, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a bit of a shakeup in the lineup. As of recording right now, nothing has been put out as far as a projected lineup for tonight, by the team, by the NHL. Nothing so far. But I think we're going to see some shakeups, coming off of those losses to Colorado and Minnesota. I think you're going to see some guys getting shuffled around. We saw that the other night as well, of stuff getting shuffled around. Where guys end up, I don't know. I mean, we did see the SAT line get back together a while back. Obviously, Tavo's out, and so we won't see that. But I do think that we're going to see some guys move around. I think the things that we won't see is, I think, the third line stays together. Martinook, Stahl, and Foss. I think that stays together because that overall consistently has been one of the Hurricanes, if not their best lines. And I think that stays together. And then obviously the top two defensive pairings are going to stay together. Slavin and Burns and Shea and Pesci. That's going to stay together. I think in terms of what you see in goal tonight, Piotr got the start up in Minnesota, and he looked good. He still hasn't lost in regulation. So there's that. So I could see a goalie honestly going either way. I honestly thinking about I'd probably go Piotr. And that's nothing against Antti Ranta. I think if they go with him in that time, they'll be fine. In that regard. But I do because of Freddie being out, and I don't want to run Ronta into the ground because one thing that Rod was saying the other day that Teuvo Teravainen, Andre Kasha, and Freddie Anderson, and obviously Max Patre as well, no one is close to coming back. Kasha's been out since the beginning of the year. He played the home opener. That was it. Tavo's out. Freddie out with lower body. I haven't heard a thing, but I think it's probably related to his knee. Obviously, Pacioretty, still recovering from his torn Achilles. I would probably go Piotr, just to be on the safe side, because I don't want to end up with Piotr and having to call up another goalie. I don't want to have to deal with that. So we'll wait and see, what happens tonight. But I think goalie wise will be fine either way. But I definitely expect some lineup shuffling, and until they get things going, I honestly think you can probably expect that going into just about any game until they are get back on a consistent winning way. And I think that the Hurricanes, I also think that, part of the problem right now, they're also getting in their own head. As I've been sitting here talking to you guys about it, it's something that's, come across my mind. I think they're in their own head, especially when it comes to special teams. And, that's stressing them out. It'd be stressing me out. Heck, it does stress me out, and I don't even play. I just sit here in front of a microphone and camera and have my computers on and talk to you guys about it, and it stresses me out. Now imagine how Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, Andre Sveshka, Jordan Stahl, Rod Brind'Amour. Imagine how all these guys, feel about it. So I think that they know what they gotta do. I think it's just a matter of having a game where they get something going. And it's like, oh, win or lose, we'll just use tonight as an example. Say they just get something going on the power play. Say they go 2 for 4 on the power play tonight. That's something you can build off of. Like, all right, we had things going. Yeah, we may have lost the game, but we did really good on the power play. Something to build off of. That's the big thing I'm wanting in this game when it comes to these areas of the special teams, no passengers, full team. I just want something that they can build off of heading into Arizona, heading into the game after that, and after that, and after that. That's what I want from this team right now. I really freaking hope we can get it tonight. I don't want to be frustrated. I don't want to be, throwing, a pillow across the living room or anything like that. I don't want to be frustrated watching them again. Because that's been the case for a while now. We have the good moments, but overall it's been very frustrating as of late. And I really want them to be able to get consistently on the right track. That's another thing. This team needs to be consistent. They can do all that stuff. I think they'll be all right. But we'll just have to wait and see. So in the meantime, make sure you are following Locked On Hurricanes on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes, and myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96. And once again, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen this Monday afternoon. Now, for your second listen, go check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast for the games that matter the most with the biggest stories in sports. Go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights that only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today is available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. And I will talk to you guys after tonight's game. And Let's go Canes.